I was a junior in college at the University of Illinois in Urbana, and it was late one night. I was in my bed, and my breast started to itch, so I scratched it, and my finger was wet. So I started to freak out.
I wanted to find the best way to treat Eloise, to personalize her care, and we had an amazing staff to help us take care of Eloise.
Eloise is just an incredibly inspirational person. When I saw Eloise, the most startling thing at first was that she was 20 years old. And then, of course, came the fact that she had this extremely strong family history of breast cancer. She was obviously an extremely high-risk patient.
The only thing I could think of was we have to do everything to save this woman and design a plan that is right for Eloise. And that was what we did.
I don't have time to have cancer. I need to go to Spain. I need to get a job. I need to do something else. I mean, I had a life to live.
She is able, even from a very young age, to say, all right, I have a cancer, but the cancer does not define me. What defines me is how I live my life and the relationships that I have with people.
I had something to live for. I had something to do. And so it really helped me not to focus so much on the fact that I had cancer.
Right from the start, Eloise wanted to be very aggressive. She made the incredibly difficult but mature decision to have both breasts removed and undergo reconstruction.
I chose to have the surgery because I was going to Spain. I had gone through the whole application process, and it was just something that I said I was going to do anyway from the time I was in high school. I said, I'm going to study abroad in Spain when I'm in college. So that was really kind of it. It's like, this is what I'm doing, so let's make it happen, and how can we do that?
I could call Dr. Song and said, look, we've got to do something for Eloise because she's got her breast removed, but she's too young not to have reconstruction.
Eloise and I have known each other for, it seems like a lifetime. Being someone so young, diagnosed with cancer, the ability to reconstruct her breasts was paramount issue for me, for her, and for every one of our team. And having cancer take away a part of the body that symbolizes femininity, it was very important for us to understand her wishes and to understand where she wanted to go with her treatment.
I was a 38G before I had my mastectomy, so it was just a relief to let them go. It would have reduced the risk of it coming back in the other breast, and cosmetically, it's better to have either two fake boobs versus one fake and one real.
When she had the first bout of cancer, we thought we were done. But you know, cancer is a complex disease, and it affects people in such complex ways. So when she finished her treatment and said, Dr. Olopade, I'm off to Spain because I'm not going to let this cancer stop me, I said, you go, girl, because I really wanted her to have a life. And so she went, and by the time she came back, of course, the cancer was back.
Cancer spread to my lymph nodes, and they decided that it had to be treated aggressively. So I came to have the surgery to remove those, and I was back in school probably in like 3 days.
And then when she came back, when the cancer had gone to her brain, and I said, well, Eloise, we have to fight this again. And there she was, really full of spirit, full of life, and saying, okay, tell me what we have to do.
All the medicine I was taking to keep the cancer out of my body was working wonderfully, but it was not affecting my brain. I had a tumor on my cerebellum that the doctor said was the size of a golf ball. Dr. McDonald was my neurosurgeon at the time, and he did my craniotomy. Everything was fine until October of that year. I ended up having a seizure, which I had never had before. And it was this tumor that they thought was shrinking, and it just decided to just start growing again.
It was like, Eloise is too bright not to have a brain that functions. Help me take it out, because she's going back to school. She's got to finish her degree. And there they were, going to use the best technique to take that brain tumor out so that Eloise could go back to school.
The cancer has basically continued to recur despite multiple surgeries. So rather than be sort of depressed about what was happening on, she was always very uplifting and had a positive outlook on life and was searching for ways to fight her disease.
So at this point, I was like a pro at brain surgery. It was like, okay, let's just go ahead and do it because I got to go to Spain again.
I think the way we approached her treatment was not by simply offering another surgery to remove the cancer, but also implant some local chemotherapy in the site where the tumor had recurred again to deliver it locally at the site of the brain to prevent future recurrences.
Nurses are, to me, even more important than the doctors, and most of them are really good and just make you feel very loved and comfortable.
I remember meeting her for the first time, and she didn't look like a patient who had stage 4 cancer. She looked remarkably well.
First and foremost thing that we do is we treat the disease, and then after that we work around everything that's happening in your life. We're going to get you back to a new normal. We're going to get you back to what cancer took away.
She's, to date, the only person that I know that was getting radiation therapy and resection of her brain metastases, but at the same time getting reconstruction for her breast.
Most of the time you try to keep an arm's distance, but some of these patients, they really touch you in ways that others don't. And Eloise was like that. She was always talking about her future, which is very positive and very hopeful. She would talk about how she enjoyed teaching children, and it was almost like a visit with your neighbor, with your friend. As she got better, she's busy, she's young, she has things to do, so I'm part of her memories, and I'm very happy for that.
I never felt that I was going to die, ever. Never. I was never afraid of that.
She gives us hope that patients who in fact have cancer and patients like her who have metastatic cancer can be successfully treated and have excellent outcomes over the long term. And she's an example of such an individual.
Eloise truly, for a young patient, she has the wisdom of someone much older, and she understands the intricacies of the cards that she's been dealt with, and she's really played them well.
My personal goals and aspirations are a huge part of why I chose the things that I chose, probably, and why I'm still here.
She never flagged from that determination that this plan that she had was going to be carried out. I watch Eloise from afar and hear about all of her accomplishments. She has lived exactly what she told me she was going to do 7 and 8 years ago.
Any breast cancer patient with brain metastasis that goes through multiple surgery that she has gone through and wakes up every day feeling fine, not having any side effects. When she comes to my clinic, I say, Eloise, how are you today? I'm fine, everything is good. I'm working on my PhD. And I just roll my eyes and I say, she is a miracle. And I'm so proud of her.